start recording now. Okay, we're recording. Here we go. The reason why I just wanted to go through this is we're going to be staking. We're going to be asked to be staking very, very soon, and this some people may end up staking for a period of time that goes past the time that we're going to be starting to use nodes. Now, I don't know exactly when that is, but the type of system that is used for these particular nodes is what's called proof of stake. Now, let me just, now you got to bear with my pictures, because this is day one of doing this with a whiteboard, so I've never done this before. These are nodes, so we've got three nodes, so we'll just put a little N in there. Now, these nodes are connected to the system over here, but these nodes aren't switched on until they pay a bond. They have to pay a security bond to be turned on, to be able to then, what they call in this particular protocol, this platform, to be able to mint a block. So when a block is sent to them, they get paid a certain amount of money to do that block. This bond has to be greater than the price of what they're getting paid. Otherwise, the whole purpose of this bond is to create a financial situation where somebody will make sure that this is actually proved properly. Otherwise, they forego their bond. Now, the interesting thing with these bonds is that they're going to be done with our crew. So each one of these, every node in the system has to be secured with crew. Now, this is a very clever way that Mr. Andre Harato gets to take more crew out of the system. As well as staking, we're also going to take crew out of the system by having crew be the security bond for a node. Now, what happens is, let's say, and I do my very poor, let's say, and I have no idea what the staking bond is going to be. We just haven't been told that yet. All the rules, the final rules of staking and of these security for these nodes hasn't been determined yet. We haven't actually got them. Now, hopefully, well, we will get them before things happen. But if every node is staked the same, there's an algorithm that works from the system, so it evenly sends, let me just get these people in, sorry, I'll just admit all, sorry about that. It evenly distributes to each of the nodes when all the nodes have the same security bond. But what happens with this system, with proof of stake, is this node here can have a security bond of 8,000 crew, or $8,000, or whatever the company decides. And then what happens is this node here gets proportionally more blocks to decipher and to prove than what these two will get. These two will still get the main, but the computer then decides and has a program in it that decides how many blocks go to this, go to here and go to here, and it's determined by this factor here, how solidly a node is actually the security bond to the node. So these can be any amount of money. Well, in the open platform, the EOS open platform, these can be any amount of money, but the more it is, the more blocks are sent to it for minting, what's called minting in the case that it's not mining, they call it minting. Now, the thing about this is that when Andre Gerardo is saying that he's talking about having 100,000 of these things all over the place. So that is going to take up an enormous amount of our crew, everybody's crew. So when you're looking at staking in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we can get some information from the company about what is the likelihood of getting payment for these, because what happens here is with this 8,000 here, say we got Bill, and he's put in 2,000 crew to put a security bond into this. So he's put 25% of the bond is going. Oh, good on you. That's all I needed. Hang on, darling, I'm on a call. Sorry about that. But so when the money comes to this node through the smart contract that's set up on the external platform, Bill is automatically going to get paid 25% of the money that comes to this node because he has staked, his stake is 25% of the security bond. Now, it would be good to know, because if this particular node is really large, well, obviously his percentage goes down, but they're going to get a lot more nodes, a lot more blocks coming to this node to prove. So it's something to just be aware of, that when we go now to stake, we need, you may not necessarily want to stake it out for 2 years, because this may be a way that is a good earning capacity for people with crew. And this is just something that I just wanted to bring to people's attention just to think about, because you may want to, while crew is cheap, you may want to buy some so you can actually put more into this money-making thing. So it means that crew now you can earn, and you'll be paid in utility tokens, but we can now look at staking as a way to earn utility coins, as well as putting security deposits down for nodes. And it's something to be very, very thoughtful to think about. The other thing, and this is really, really important, is that once nodes become very, very popular, 51% of nodes are going to be held by members of the VIP club. We're always going to hold, the company and the VIP members are going to hold a 51% controlling hold on node work. But that means there's going to be 49% are going to come from the public. They're going to be open to the public to buy. Now, when someone's going to go get some crew, the only way you're going to get crew is you buy an EIP or you go to the exchange. Now, we all know that if you buy an EIP, you've got a 350 day, that's actually a 350 day wait, and then you're going to get 1%. And, you know, we all know the routine, which isn't going to work for someone who wants to buy a node and then put a security deposit down to attract blocks to his node. They are going to come and have to buy them from the exchange. And that's going to push the price of CREW, that's going to push it massively high. And the thing that I was just thinking when we were doing this the other day is that right now, people may want to think about buying some CREW to be able to put on the exchange when all of these nodes start opening up, because there'll be a lot of money to be made. If you have, and I sort of was working it out, that if you have your, and I call it my personal limit that I need for CREW, and say and what happens with this is the amount of CREW that I am never going to ever sell. This is it. This is Richard's future, this amount of CREW. But if I want to make some money, if I want to buy some CREW and we're paying 15 cents at the moment, say we're paying 15 cents just for the sake of the argument, it's a little bit, 14.25 you can get it down to. But when this opens up in July, the CREW here, they're anticipating is going to be worth $4. So for the very short time between now and July, for an outlay of $15 to go buy a few thousand CREW, you know, $15 each, is going to be a very, very simple, quick way to make a lot of money, where you don't take any of this money. We don't want to use any of that money. We don't want to ever touch this money. But if it was affordable for people and they could afford right now to go buy a few more CREW for the specific purpose of selling them when this begins to happen here, a lot of people, if they can do it, are going to make a lot of money, because people that buy a node need to immediately have CREW so they can secure it, so they can start earning money. Does that make sense? Does everybody, can sort of people follow that? That CREW is needed here. So there's going to be a big demand on people, because if they're getting their money from staking, you need to consider, please consider this as an option rather than just automatically going to staking. You know, I mean, staking, when this all comes about, staking may end up being a viable proposition, but knowing the way Andre Harate works, I can't see that he would favour one over the other. If staking is that much more beneficial than doing this, nobody will do this. So somewhere along the line, their maths has got to work out that this is going to be comparable to staking. But this may be easier to move CREW in and out of. And I don't know that that's going to be the case, because we haven't seen the rules. But because staking is going to start very soon, I just wanted to take the opportunity to explain this to people, just so you've got time between now and when staking is, people are going to actually do it, to think about this, to think about staking, but also while CREW is down around these prices, to maybe think also about buying some so you can take advantage of when it comes up to these prices. And there is going to be a massive demand for CREW as all these nodes start to open up, because they're going to be competing against each other to get the price, to get a high stake, so they maximise the number of blocks that will actually come to them. So that's pretty much the gist of what I want to just try and explain. It was easier to do it in the whiteboard than to try and do it in a slideshow. So I don't know how to open up a mic on mass, but if anybody has got any questions, now is the time to ask them. And I can't see. I'll have to get out of this so I can see. Okay. Who is there? Anybody got? Okay, I can't, because there was a lot of people that haven't got videos on, so I don't know. I can't see who's. If there's anybody got a question, just
I am.
Yep. Okay, Anne.
So is it better if you've got, I'll just use an example. Say if you've got 100,000 crew and you want to stake it, do you actually just stake it on one node? Or do you stake it like once a month and end up with, say, 3 nodes?
Yes. Okay, all I can tell you is the norm for this platform type is that you can do that. You can take them in, take them out, you can move them around, you can do that for that particular month. Until the company, though, gives us their rules, and they will be the ones that will set that. They may say that if you attach your security bond to a node, you've got to lock it there for a period of time. And so I don't know the answer to your question, but they are generally able to be taken and withdrawn, deposited and withdrawn. But the company is going to tell us that, and it'd be just nice to get that before we start staking.
But why would you withdraw? If you put, say, 100,000 in, why would you withdraw? Don't you put that 100,000 in, say, for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and just leave it there like a...
Yeah, absolutely, you might. I mean, but I was answering your question. You were saying, could you take it out and spread it between 3 later on? And the answer to that is...
I was saying, say in May, I put 100,000 in of my unlocked crew in May, and I put that in for, say, 6 months, whatever percentage it is.
Yep.
And then in June, I put another 100,000 crew in, but is it going into the same node, or is it a second node?
No, it would go to where you want to, where you nominate it to go.
So to one node the whole way through? Yeah,
you could put one into node 1, and you could put another one into node 7. You could put another one into node 13. It's not required. The thing that you said, though, which you need to be aware of, is that you don't put a bond onto a node for a percentage like you do for staking. You put a bond onto a node and it earns the percentage. If your bond is 10% of the security bond for that node, then you will earn 10% of what that node generates in an income. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
No, with staking, no, it's all right. No, with staking, you put your 100,000 in for 24 months, and we know that we're going to get 2.5% for each month. So we know that. So we know that going forward. With putting a bond for a node, again, we talk about this 10%. If your node is 10% of the security of that node, then you earn 10% of whatever that node earns. So, and that's why people, some of these bonds are very, very big, because they draw massive numbers of blocks to them. You know, they can really, the algorithm in the computer, in the system, still creates it that the lesser nodes will still earn money, but because the bigger nodes have got more people, or there is more crew attached to them, they will automatically get more blocks sent to them to mint. And what we don't know is, we don't know what the payment for a block is at this stage, and that's what we need to know. What is a block worth? And we don't know that, but that's one of the questions that we've got to ask. The thing that I was really wanting for people to do is just to be aware, because if putting a security bond down onto a node is very financially good, you don't want to, when this staking starts straight away, we don't want to put all of our money staked for 2 years or something like that, because you're not going to be able to, once you stake, you aren't going to be able to, you're not going to be able to pull that out. You're not going to be able to take that out and say, oh, I want to switch it and put it onto a node. You're just going to miss the opportunity to put it onto a node. So you just need to be aware. We'll pursue it with the company to see if we can get the information before the decision for staking is actually done. But you just need to know that that it's a very big income. It's a big income earning opportunity. And now we've got two with the crew. We can stake, and we can also put a security bond down for a node. So it gives us two options. We're still going to be earning dividends. We're still going to be earning bonuses. But we're also going to be earning, in the case of a node, we're going to be earning a percentage of the income that node earns. And then there's the other thing that when these nodes go en masse to the public, the only place anybody in the public is going to get a node is from the exchange. And if you've got a few spare to put across the exchange, now would be the time to buy them and hang on to them until that happens, because the return on them is going to be massive, be a big return on money that when those nodes start to go on the exchange. Does that help you, Ian?
Oh, I'm getting there. It's just hard to get your head around.
You're looking there with great puzzlement on your face still.
I just don't understand this stuff. To me, is it like having, say, you've got your bank account, got my bank account. You have got 1,000 in your bank account. I've got 2,000 in my bank account. So if people want to put money or crew into your account, which is 1,000 crew, and then that builds these like blocks, or if people's got 2,000, they can put it on my block. Is that how it sort of works or not?
Well, I think the way it works is that people are going to, there will be some that will really pack a node, put a lot of crew into it, because it will draw a lot of blocks to solve. You know, there'll be some very, very, very big secured blocks, and they're going to take a lot of the blocks that are available. But you know,
but do you only have one block each?
Do
you only have one node each? Do you only have one node each, or say 100,000 gets you one node? Then I might buy another node for 2,000.
Yeah, okay, you'll buy a node separately to the bond. The buying of a node has got nothing to do with the putting of a bond. I mean, you could buy a node, and all of us here on this call could go and put our crew onto your node if we wanted to. You can attract as many security deposits as you want, but the more you've got, the more blocks will come to your node for minting. So there will be a balance between having having that many, that your percentage slowly drops, and that's when you may take your money out and go put it on another node where your percentage for that node is bigger. Look, it's not really complicated. I'm going to keep talking to you until you change that look on your face and you look relaxed. Well, that's it. That's the smile. That's what I want to say. But no, seriously, it actually, the only reason why I wanted to mention it is because we're going to be staking very soon. Like 10 days, something like that they're talking about. Maybe it'll be a little bit longer. But I just wanted to raise this as a discussion point just for people to think about, so we don't go and make a decision and we do all of this staking only to find out that there's this new thing coming along called bonding and making a secure bond for a node, and everybody turn around and go, well, we didn't know about that. Who was going to tell us? How come we didn't know? So all I wanted to do was just raise it as a point to think about, and also think about, while Crew is really, really relatively cheap compared to what it's going to be, when people are looking for a substantial amount of Crew to then put a bond down on their nodes, they're going to go to the exchange to get it. There's nowhere else to get it. To go buy an EIP and wait 350 days and then do the 1%, the 1%, just nobody's going to do it. People that are going to want to get a node and earn money from it straight away are going to go to the exchange, and they're not going to be fussed about really how much money they're going to pay. Obviously, they're not going to be, paying the top dollar, because they know that, first of all, they're going to be getting a dividend. They're still going to be getting dividends and bonus while they're holding Crew. The Crew is going to be going up in price all the time in any case, and the more that they have of them on their node, the more blocks they're going to get to their node to mint. So there's a lot of reasons why they will buy Crew, and if we've got the Crew, it would be handy to, like I say, keep the Crew. Never ever, please try and understand, never sell those Crew that are allocated to you as your personal retirement fund. Just don't ever sell any of those. But while they're cheap, it would be not a bad idea to buy some and sit on them for a couple of months and then put them on the exchange. You'll make a lot of money. You still got that look on your face. Oh, no, there it is. You smile. That's it. You can turn your camera off now. I saw you smiling.
I'm just thinking it's just like a bank account. You get your unlocked Crew, you throw your unlocked Crew in a bank account and you get interest.
Yep.
But it sounds to me, I'm getting the impression, it sounds to me like you pay to open your bank account, and then you put money into your bank account. So there's two different costs we're talking about.
Okay, I'm a bit lost on you. Yeah, it's the two are quite different. First of all, like the bank account and the interest earning, yeah, that's 100%. The difference is that it's more like you're investing in a business and getting a percentage of what that business earns. When you stake, that's more like putting your money in the bank and getting interest earned on it. When you put your bond down on a node, that's more like making an investment into a business and getting a return on what that business makes.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make it any easier?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing, sort of, that I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. But also, you know, the other really big thing to think about is how much buying some crew now and then selling them in a few months' time. Because a lot of people have this, you see it a lot in chat groups that, oh, I'm never going to sell my crew, I'm never going to sell my crew and things like that. Well, yeah, okay, I understand that. But if you buy some crew for the purpose of selling it later, that's not a bad deal, not a bad thing to do. But, you know, that's a decision that everybody has to make. And believe me, I aren't a financial consultant to be able to tell you what to do. But all I just want to say is just think about it. It's just something to just think about. And I just didn't want people to commit themselves to a staking program only to find out once they'd done that there was something that had maybe a comparable value to spread their crew into two different things.
Richard, how do you think, how many people will buy this node?
Well, I think a lot of people will, because they're a stay-at-home way of earning money. There's a lot of people will. I mean, for me, if I have to go to it and program it every morning, start it up, turn it off, do this, do that, I'm not interested. I just got too many other things to do in my life. But if it's something that I can go buy a box, plug it into my internet thing, stick it in a cupboard and never have to do anything with it, and it makes me money, well, I'm up for buying one of them. Then it's just a matter of working out how much crew I have to put as a security bond on it to make a return on it. And then you know, it's just something to you'll have a look at. We will know somewhere along the line. We will know what the minimum bond is going to be, and then we need to work out from that. Well, if that's the minimum, what do I need to do to attract more business to my node? And what you have to do is you have to have a bigger security bond. And that's, you know, so then you have to hunt around and find, if you don't have the crew to put it there, you'll need to find people who can put it there. And then, you know, then the computer, then the system does the split of the money. So it's that side of it is very cut and dried and very easy. You worry me, and you still got that look on your face.
I'm concentrating. If I'm cooking, I'm concentrating.
Oh, okay, all right. Any other? Has it made it more understandable, or have actually confused more people? Well, that's a worry. That's a worry. Just wave if you understand it better.
I think, Richard, I think it's also because it is probably all relatively new, and I think a lot of people maybe not quite understand, because it is quite complex. And I think initially when this whole thing becomes more clear, and I guess we'll probably have to wait till they actually explain what actually is going to happen in the next stage.
Yes, and that's the exact reason why I wanted to initiate a conversation now, so we can actually start thinking about it and talking about it and asking questions now, rather than a day before, you know, we've staked, or a day after we've staked, and then we find out a week later, oh, there's this new thing coming out. So we know about it now, and now we can make some inquiries, start asking questions to get some answers before that deadline for staking comes up. Because once you stake, once you lock that time frame in, that's it. Those crew, you're not getting them back until the end of that time. So it's just what I was just sort of thinking when we decided to do this very quickly was just to try and give people a chance to talk about it and ask questions and do all the things that we need to do, so we're just a little bit better prepared when the decision comes to start staking. So yeah, I agree with you, sir. Definitely. Anyone else?
Hi, Richard. I just have a question.
Yeah, mate.
I just want to know one thing. Like, say, if the people are getting the number of these CRUs unblocked month-on-month basis,
Yep.
can they jot it down for talk about 3 months, 6 months time down the line, and after 6 months, whatever the lot they have added up, they can put it to the staking? Is that possible?
Sorry, just say that I just missed.
Okay, I'll come again.
Yeah.
I'll come again. See, the people are getting their CRU unblocked on month-on-month basis.
Yes.
What's the meaning of this nonsense
Right?
now?
After 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, they keep on adding their all 5 months unblocked CRUs,
Yeah.
and can jot down all of them and put it after 5 months on the staking. Is that possible?
Okay. When you say on the staking, you mean on the security, on to put it onto a security bond, or just
Yes.
restake it?
For staking, like say talk about every month you have a certain limit.
Yes.
Every month you're getting certain CRU unblocked.
Yes.
Either you can put it A, B, C, D every month.
Yes.
Or can you jot down A plus B plus C plus D and put all together in one go at the 5th month?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You can hold them in your account. You could absolutely hold them in your account and do nothing with them until you got a whole heap of them, and then make one in. You could hold month 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then on month 6 you could put the whole lot wherever you wanted to put it. Yeah, absolutely.
And another question into it, like say, what has been like say more advantages? Like say putting it month by month or jotting it down and then putting it once. I think month on month basis would be much easier because the unlocking period would be much lesser.
If you hold crew, once it's been unlocked, if you hold it in your account, it earns you nothing. It goes up in value because crew is going up in value, but you won't earn any utility coins on crew that's unlocked sitting in your account. You'll only earn utility coins initially by staking unlocked crew. If you just have them sitting in your account doing nothing, they are not earning you any money. They're not earning you any utility coins. Now, once nodes come into play, there will be 2 places that you can then put crew. You can put crew to staking, or you can put crew into a security bond for a node. So there's going to give us 2 places, and both of those will actually earn you money. The thing that is probably the thing that Anne was talking about is staking will give you a sum of money that you know going into it what it's going to earn you. You know that if you stake for 24 months, every month you're going to get 2.5%. You know that going in. With a node, you don't know exactly what you're going to get, because you could have a node that's very big and drawing a lot of blocks to it, but during the course of a month, someone may come along and deposit more security blocks to another node, which makes it bigger than yours, and then it starts taking more blocks to be minted away from you. So staking will give you an amount of money that you can know every month you're going to get. The security, the placement of a bond on a node won't give you the same degree of knowledge of what your return is going to be. So knowing the way business works, there's probably be a situation where on paper, you'll earn more money if your node is successful and it attracts a reasonable amount of traffic in minting blocks. You will actually earn more money than what you will with the guarantee of staking. But you're taking the chance that your node is actually a successful node, you know, that it's attracting enough blocks. And that's the thing that you need to be, we just got to wait up. And I don't know the answer to that, and I'm not trying to pretend that I do. All I want to do is just present a scenario that causes people to just think about it before we just raw race off and start staking, and then maybe find down the track that, oh, that wasn't a smart move. I wish I'd held back, you know, or maybe I only staked for 6 months. Because see, these nodes aren't going to kick in for a few months.
Just a moment, Richard.
Yeah, mate.
Can I request all the people who are not speaking put their microphone to an off, please?
Yes.
Because we can't hear what Richard is trying to say.
Yeah, who's okay?
Too many people, other people in the background there carrying on.
Yeah. Okay, there was, I heard some kids jumping up and down and screaming.
Yeah, Richard, you can mute those people, all right?
You can mute all people, and whomsoever is speaking or raises hand, you can unmute him.
Yeah.
Okay, I've muted everybody. So now, okay, there you go, thumbs up, beauty. All right, now, okay, that means that I actually can't, not everybody's got cameras on, so I can't, you'll have to stick a thumbs up in a chat box or something like that and I'll unlock you. Did we sort out your question, Shurik? Yep, okay, good. Oh, and I just clicked that button. Okay, I'm just looking.
Yes, you did. Yes,
Yep.
you did. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Anybody else got a question? No?
No, I think that's all good, Richard. Thanks very much for your explanation, mate. And yeah, it's all good.
Okay, well then we'll wrap up tonight. Thank you all for coming. And
Richard,
yeah.
hello, it's Martina. I have a question. I
Yeah.
posted in the group, but I think you didn't see it. I'm asking you whether you think that it's better to not stake, and is that the way how you get the node?
For me, what I'm going to do, and this is for me, for my situation, I'll start staking as soon as it opens, but I'm going to stake for 6 months. I'm happy to forego. I don't need, okay, not that I don't need money, because we all need money, but I don't want to lock myself in to a 2-year program that I may want to get out of. Now, in 6 months' time, I can, when my stake has expired, then I can make the decision. If I then want to go for 2 years, fine, I'll take it for 2 years. But I am going to wait. I will stake, and I will stake for 6 months, because by that time, the node thing will be a lot more known. We'll know a lot more about it. And I think I will be in a better position to make a decision for myself and people who are impacted by the decisions that I make. So
Is there going to be a time, you know, how many times you can stake? Has that been cleared or?
time, sorry, the time limits are there. Like we've got 1 month, 3 months, 6 months.
No, I mean, how many times you can stake in a year?
No, and look, in actual fact, the rule, we actually haven't had the final set of rules given to us for staking yet. Now, on that last, hang on, just got to make sure that I don't say anything I'm not allowed to say. But on that last webinar we had, Andre said that a couple of days, or 2 or 3 days before staking starts, we're going to have a specific webinar dedicated just to staking. So we'll get our heads fully around all of the rules of staking. So we don't know yet exactly that question that you asked. We don't know whether, you can stake only 4 times a year, 6 times a year, or can you stake every month? From what I read, from what Andre has said, that I think it'll be every month. And I think each month you're going to be able to stake some crew for different periods of time. But
and is there going to be a minimum, or, I mean, there's no maximum, but is there going to be a minimum amount that you can stake?
No, I again, that could be a rule. Hi, Tree. It's a rule that we don't know. I mean, I can't see any reason why they would stop you from doing whatever you want to do with your money, but with your crew. But my goodness, I wouldn't be taking a bet on anything at the moment. I'd just sort of wait. But we are going to find that out a couple of days before we do end up having to make that final decision. But again, I just wanted to bring this particular thing up about nodes so we can factor that into the discussion. I'm trying to unmute you. Why aren't you unmuting, True? Can you unmute yourself? I can't. Why isn't that unmuting? I'm trying to do. I can see you talking, but I can't get you to. I can't get your microphone off.
No, I think she has to done from her own end.
Oh, okay. All right.
She has muted her on her own. Okay. It's been on for everybody. Everybody can mute it and unmute it.
Yep, she's off. Okay. No. I can see you smiling. I can see you talking. I can see everything, but I can't hear you.
No, because while after speaking, I put it again on mute.
Okay, I'm going to mute you and then see if I can unmute. No. Oh. Okay. No, I can see you.
You can give the permission to all. Then it comes back to us whether we want to mute or we want to unmute ourselves.
Okay. Just Tree, unmute yourself. Press all the buttons.
At the bottom of your screen, on your left-hand side, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Down there. Down the left. Is that left or is that left? Whatever, down the bottom. No, it is not going to unmute.
Tree on the left-hand side, downwards. You can just see a speaker button. You can just unmute it and mute it.
Just click on the red button.
No, she's not getting it.
No, I think she don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
There's been a downstairs. Yeah. Down on the screen, you have a mute and the unmute button.
It's in red color. It's in red.
Right on the corner. No.
Yeah, but I think with some of them, it may be that the actual line may disappear. You have to just press on the screen and then the drop-down menu from the top. That's where you can also see the mute
Yeah, I
button.
mean, I just can't, I can't get to her, I'm afraid.
So Richard,
Hang on.
while she's
Yep.
trying to work out her stuff,
Yep.
so back to my question, what was it? So the way how you get the node is only when you have the crew unlocked and available. So like,
Yeah,
for example, if it's under the program, the stacking or staking or what's it called, then you cannot get the node. Is that correct?
you would need to get you would need to get crew from the exchange. You'd have to buy it from the exchange.
But if I have my own, then I don't need to buy, right?
If you, yes, yeah, exactly. If you and that's what my point. That's why I'm going to stake for 6 months,
Yeah, I
because at the
understand.
end of 6 months, what I'm going to do is my first lot I will stake for 6 months. Then next month I'll stake for 3 months, and then do a 3 months and then 1 month. So I will stake. So all of my money that I get, all of my crew that I get between now and July is all going to come available to me in July. So
Okay.
when I unlock my crew in June, I am only going to stake it for a month. You know, in May I'll stake it for 2 months, two lots of 1 month. Now, if as time gets closer and closer, we get to learn a little bit about the nodes and the security bonds that have to be put on nodes, and I can work out from the information that I'm getting that I'm better off continuing staking, then I will pick up staking again and just keep staking. I won't sort of worry about it. But I would like to leave myself in the position where I can take advantage of putting a security bond onto a node, rather than not have that advantage by simply staking everything as soon as I get it. Because you get a lot of people and they say, oh, when I get money, I'm going to stake it for 2 years because it'll give me 2.5%. And you think, yeah, okay, well, that's true.
Yeah, but then you're stuck, right? I understand. Yeah.
Exactly, Martina, exactly. You don't have an option, because you will not be able to take your money out once you've set that period. So
Because it
I'm
doesn't
going to
make sense.
just,
Because if people are looking to have more crew, then it would actually make sense for them just to buy the ordinary EIP if it's still available at that time. If I don't know how that works, but if they are looking for more crew, then they should just buy instead of having there, because this way they would be kind of tied up for a year, right? The 350 days. But if they do the stacking for 2.5 years, then they are just completely stuck.
yeah. We just have to know. Everybody has got to look at their own circumstance and their own situation. And there's actually a very, very good argument for buying crew off the exchange, you know, and having the ability to do something with it straight away. And, you know, if you've got crew and it's earning you a dividend, which will eventually come, it's earning you bonuses, it's earning you 2.5% on your utility coins. Now, utility coins, they're going to be going up in value. There's all those sort of things. So to not do something with your crew and just hold it in your account, I think you're losing an opportunity of earning. But I wouldn't stake it just automatically for 2 years with this security bonds coming out to be put on nodes. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of people make a living simply by putting security bonds on nodes. They can make that much money from it. There's an enormous amount of money to be made doing it. And the advantage that we have, particularly in the group, is that if you're looking at it, there's going to be thousands of people in this company will not even know about it 12 months after it's been happening. They will still not even have a clue about what a node, what a security bond is on a node, because they're not looking at the stuff. They don't read the back office. They don't do anything. They just, and they're going to be amazed by it. But that means that there's a great opportunity for people who are getting themselves in the know. And you just got to ask questions. You just got to change the look on your face of what Anne has. Just ask questions.
Of course, yes, definitely.
I
You've
love
been
you,
very
Anne. You know
helpful.
that, don't you?
Yes, thank you, Richard, for your answer. And hopefully we can do such a kind of webinar just like this, maybe every so often, you know, when you have time, and just go through this. It's been actually very informative for me.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to do it. I just wanted to get the thoughts out there of people just to start thinking about it. We've got a webinar we're doing. I think it's either the end of this week or early next week, which we've done. We've made up specifically to show a brand new person who's never heard of the word NEEW ever in their life. Just a really simple explanation that we believe people could give to kick the ball off. If somebody has a bit of a problem in how do you initiate the discussion with someone about crew, then this webinar that Michelle and I are doing at the end of this week or early next week will be the perfect tool to just give to someone. It's not going to answer all the questions. It's specifically formed to create simple questions that people can answer. Okay, I think that's Tree. Is that you? No?
No, I think this tree is talking to somebody else. That's a phone. And
Oh,
she's just been talking to that person, and our screen is just been for video stuff. That's it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but that webinar that we're doing at the end of the week is really, look, it's really, we've got some, it's quite different. I'm telling you now, it's very different to most of the webinars that the company produce. We've decided to go on quite a different track, still tell the same story. We get to the same destination, but we just take a slightly different track to get there, because we decided that we would just try and do something different to try and just, if all we have is the same approach to the way that we tell people our story, we only attract people who think like that. So if we can approach it from a slightly different perspective or a different view, there's a chance that we might find some different people out there that we can help. So, you know, it's something that it'd be worth when Michelle will set that up and announce when we're going to do it and do all that sort of stuff, but it'd be worth having a look at.
So would that be like a PowerPoint presentation as well, Richard?
It will have a PowerPoint presentation to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the PowerPoint presentation where I'll do like what I'm doing now, but we'll also give you the PowerPoint so you can do your own talking and do your own discussion of the slides. So you'll hear what I've got to say about the slides, but you can then say it your own way if you want to say it your own way. You know, like it's a lot of people, we talk about the NEEW, and I would ask the question, when does somebody think the concept of NEEW was first thought about? Now, a lot of people don't realise that it was actually thought about and it was actually first documented in 1930. That was the first time the concept of a society of abundance ever got brought up and mentioned. So we bring that into our discussion in our little webinar, to try and demonstrate that it's actually not such a brand new thing, that it hasn't been thought through thoroughly. And then we take it, we link it fairly cleverly to what Andre Gerardo's built. But it's something that, that might be of interest to people, just as a different way of presenting the story.
So what made you come up with that idea to introduce a different way of explaining it to people? What actually made you sort of come up with the idea?
Many years ago, I was working for a bloke, and we were talking about some things, and he said, Richard, he says, 1 and 1 equals 2. He says, that's a set, that's a gimme. He said, but if I was to give you the answer is 2, how many mathematical equations are there that get you to the answer of 2? Well, of course, there's millions. And the point he was making to me was there's often many different ways that you can get to a destination, and it's worth exploring as many of them as you can, because each time you take a different track, you meet different people. You meet different, that you go down. If you take, and he sort of got all elaborate about it. But what he was saying was true, is that if our company has a set way that we present things, and that's every person is doing basically the same thing, it's the same message, just a different face delivering it. Yeah. But if we can actually change the whole approach, then we have a whole new lot of people that we could get interested in what we're doing. That's basically it.
Right.
Besides, Michelle's a bit of a dag, and so am I, and so we just decided to do something different.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody has a different way of explaining things to people, I suppose, and this is where, a different tack, and it's coming from a different angle is very refreshing. So yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, well, so let's hope it works, because we want wonderful ideas, yes, but we want wonderful ideas that work. But anyway, look, it doesn't matter. I mean, an idea is good because an idea could stimulate someone to think of something else, and so they're always good. I reckon they're always worth doing.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is with this type of setup with NEEW, one has to keep it simple.
Yeah,
so people have better idea and easier that they can grasp. So they can, like you said about the equations. Yeah, there are different ways of working out, and get a different answer. But the thing is that I think probably a lot of people in this day and age get put off because things are too complicated. And they just feel that they just don't want to put the effort into it, because they think, well, hang on, if this is so complicated, I have to do the same thing too, and I don't understand half of what he's just told me about, then I'm not going to do it.
Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely 100%. That's why we're hoping that when we do this webinar that we're doing, that people will look at it. First of all, they will embrace the idea and they say, yeah, actually, I actually follow that. I can see that. But then if they have the confidence in it, then they will have the confidence to go give it to someone else, because it is really, really, really simple. It is real ABC stuff. We think that that's the answer. We don't get into really in-depth stuff, because when a person's looking for it for the first time, there's no point. There's no point in talking to them about half the things that they're going to need to get their heads around eventually. But as a first up time, we just keep it super simple.
Well, as the good example is with tonight, the way your explanation and explaining about the node, right, and how you're putting it together and how sort of like some people interpret it as well. So it's really a matter of how people, their brain thinks, you know, how they understand it. The way you explain it is, you know, a different perception to, you know, everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and some people don't really want to ask questions because they don't always feel that it's valid, or they feel embarrassed to ask questions because some people just shut up. They just don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Well, we got taught a long time ago that the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask, because, you know, if we're here to answer questions and you don't ask one that you've got, well, that's, you know, you've just missed out an opportunity. But yeah, it's I think a lot of people will see this as quite a different approach, and you know, hopefully it'll help. All right, people.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, thanks
I
so
can't-
much, Richard.
Tree, you are going to have to private message me. I cannot figure out how to unlock you. I'm sorry, darling. You'll have to message me privately. No, I can't. Yeah, there's no point in talking to me, so I just can't make out what you're saying. All right, people. Thank you. Now, actually, just before you go, was this of any value?
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
Richard, just let us know when you do that webinar for new people. We'll try to invite as many as we can. So please let
Yeah,
us know.
that's going to be the trick, because we're going to use we'll give everybody plenty of notice. And if for some reason we need to do it twice, we'll do it twice. You know, if we got to do it in 2 different time frames, we'll do it twice. You know, we just want to. We've got this big mission to get to 10 million people by the end of the year. But if we don't start doing it now, you know, we got to start working seriously at it now. Otherwise, come September, you know, we're only going to be trying to figure out, you know, shorter numbers. But if we do the big push now, we got a pretty fighting chance of getting there in December. So yeah, we will, Martina. I'll make sure everybody gets plenty of notice. All right.
Okay.
Anything else? Nope. All right.
That's it.
Will.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time, Richard.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.